In this exercise, we are going to start with this drawing, and in the end, we will end up with this illustration. File, place exercise 21, click, check template, and place. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write the letter C here. So I'm gonna need the type tool. Make one click. I'm gonna choose Arial for the font style black, and the size is gonna be very big. I'm gonna type 900 points, press enter, select and write the letter C. Selection tool, I'm gonna move the letter right here. I'm gonna right click, create outlines, right click again and click on ungroup. Now we have a regular black shape with a black fill. I'm going to select the ellipse tool now, change the color to this dark gray. I'm gonna put the cursor right here, press shift and draw a circle like this. I'm gonna leave it here. Right click, arrange, send to back. Selection tool, I'm gonna select both. I'm gonna make sure they are aligned. Horizontal align center, click, and vertical align center. Now they are aligned. I'm gonna click on the circle. I'm gonna apply a drop shadow effect. I go to effect, stylize, drop shadow, opacity 70, X, Y, offset 0, 0. I want the shadow to be exactly under the circle, and blur 30. I click on OK. Now we have a shadow under the circle. I'm gonna select the circle. I go to object, path, offset path. This is a new option that we didn't see before. I click offset. I'm going to type 110 pixels, and I'm not gonna change anything else. I just click on OK and look what happens. Now we have a new circle right here. It's almost like a copy of this circle, but it's 110 pixels bigger. Control Z to go back. I'm gonna select the new circle now. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll go to object, path, offset path. I click OK. I'll make another circle that's bigger. I select the new circle, the newest circle, and I go to path. I'm gonna repeat the same thing. Offset path, OK. Select the newest circle, object, path, offset path. I keep the same values, I won't change anything, and I click on OK. And just like that, I have 5 circles, and each one is bigger than the other by 110 pixels. I'm going to select this one, the smallest one, and I'm going to set the stroke to 40 points. Now we have a black stroke, 40 points thickness. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna apply a gradient to this stroke. I'm gonna go to gradient tool here. I'm gonna open the gradient window right here. I'll make sure I put the stroke in front. I select the stroke, must be in front, and I'm going to create a gradient by clicking here. Click to activate, and now we have a gradient going from white to black. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add another stop here, another stop here, and another stop here. 5 stops. Double click here. I'm gonna set this to dark gray. The one in the middle, double click, same color, dark gray, and the one here on the right, same color, dark gray. Now the one in between here, I'm gonna choose white, and the one in between here, same color, white. Now I'm gonna change the angle to 90 degrees like this, and I'm going to move the sliders a little bit closer to the color white here. I'm gonna do the same thing here, closer to the color white like this. And now we have the metallic effect. Going to close this. I'm gonna open graphic styles and make sure the circle is selected, and I'm going to save this graphic style, new graphic style, and now we have it saved right here. Selection tool, I'm gonna select these 4 circles now and apply the same effect simply by clicking. I wait some time. And now we have the same effect applied to 5 circles. I'm gonna close this for now. I'm gonna select the letter C. I'm gonna apply a gradient to this letter too. I go to gradient window. This time I make sure the fill is in front, the fill is selected. It's very important. And I'm going to apply the same gradient to this fill, to the fill of the letter C. I'm gonna replace the color black with a gradient. I'm gonna simply click here, and we get the same gradient we created earlier. It's saved here with gray, white, gray, white, gray. I'm just gonna do one thing. I'm gonna change the angle from 0 to 90, just like this. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna open the appearance window. Now, as you see, we have filled with a gradient, this gradient. I'm going to duplicate this fill, duplicate selected item once, twice. Now we have 3 fills with the same gradient. I'm going to select this one, the one in the bottom, and I'm going to apply an effect, add new effect, path, offset path. I'm gonna type 25. I'm not gonna change anything else, and click OK. And just like that, I made this fill, this C, 25 pixels bigger. Now I'm gonna select this fill, the fill on top. I'm gonna set the same effect. I'm gonna apply the same effect, path, offset path, but this time I'm gonna type -25 and click OK. And just like that, I made the fill 25 pixels smaller. Now I'm gonna select the fill in between, the fill in the middle, and I'm going to change this from gradient to this dark shade of gray. We get this effect, as you see. I'm going to select the fill on top with the gradient, and I'm going to apply a drop shadow here, effect, stylized drop shadow. I'm going to change this to 10, or let's try 15. I click OK. I'm gonna zoom a little bit so you can see. Now we have a drop shadow under this fill, and I'm going to apply the same effect to the gradient fill here in the bottom, this one. Click, drop shadow. I keep the same values, 15 pixels, of course, X offset, Y offset, 0, 0, and 70% opacity, and I click on OK. Now we have a drop shadow here and a drop shadow here. It makes the illustration more realistic. Now I'm gonna hide the template. I no longer need it. And now the exercise is finished. You go do the same and don't forget to save.